About, I don't know, an hour or so ago with a man named Robert Valentine, who himself put himself between the police and some youths who were taunting the police. He's a former master sergeant. He said he was in the military for 30 years, a Vietnam vet. And I just want to show him because he is also a face and a citizen of Baltimore tonight, and he is on the streets for all the right reasons, trying to bring down the violence. Let's listen.
Sir, who are you? And you sort of took it upon yourself to tell those young people to go away. Well, are you a little bit concerned about your own safety? I mean, there's a lot of bottles and rocks and things.
Here's number one. I did 30 years, okay? Came out of Master Sergeant. I've seen more than all this. I've been through the riots already. This right here is not relevant. They need to have their butts at home. They need to be in their home units with their family studying and doing something with their life. Not out here protesting about something that's not really about nothing. They do not respect this young man's death. You know. Now, mama and daddy done lost a child. That could be them. So I'm very pissed.
So what's your name?
Valentine.
Your first name?
Robert.
Robert Valentine. And you're a Vietnam vet?
Yes.
And you just decided to come out here and stand up against these guys?
Yes.
You know, a lot of people would think twice, wouldn't they?
I love my country. I love my charm city. And I'm an American. I'm not black, white, red, and yellow, nothing. I am American.
Are you concerned about what's happening to the community?
Yes.
Robert Valentine pointing out, I am an American. An important message tonight. Back with Joe Johns. Joe, I understand you have the fire chief?
I did. I think he just, he walked around the, let me see if I can find him here, Anderson, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, there he is. Hey, Chief, come on. Wait, yeah, I just want to ask you, so, what's the situation here? Have you knocked it down?
Oh, it's done. It's under control.
All right. Was it arson? Was there anybody trapped inside?
Good job.
No. Okay. But you did have an injury to a firefighter.
Yes.
On my phone.
What kind of injury?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But has he been hospitalized? Was it serious? Was it minor?
I would say it was serious.
And what? Smoke inhalation or what?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, then, thank you very much, Chief. I appreciate it. All right. Good to see you. All right. So, yeah, so we're just trying to get some feel for what happened at this bar and lounge. It's called the Fireside North. Reports from these guys that people were actually looting the place.
Right from the neighborhood, a bunch of hoodlums. You know, this is not what the mayor's calling for. It's not for Brother Gray. We just came up for peace. Myself, my fraternity brothers out tonight as a call from the mayor just to come and help to restore peace, help the police officers. That's what we're trying to do tonight.
And that's your fraternity.
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
So I assume it's calmed down a lot out here.
You guys got a video a little while ago. We had folks in and out of the hair salon, in and out of the bar. Again, you showed footage down the street where they continue to loot the store, which is unnecessary. I mean, that's not, these businesses that you're destroying, it's going to be a tough time for them to come back to this community. We don't have many businesses in the community right now as it is, and so you're going to come in and destroy. This is not what we came out here for tonight. We came out here for peace and also to get justice, but also it's a way to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. What was your name again?
Daryl Green, man.
Daryl Green, thanks very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Crisis actors.
And that's, Anderson, I think I told you earlier.
CIA crisis
I want to
actors.
bring in Van Jones, who has been watching this as well as really much of the country and frankly much of the world. Van, your thoughts on what you're seeing in the streets of Baltimore?
Well, first of all, it's obviously a tragedy. You're seeing one of the things that I think is very healthy. In the African American community, the fraternities and sororities are not just campus-based organizations for college students. They are a key pillar in the community. The fact that you have fraternities out there, that you have the clergy out there is very important. You know, I want to say something. You know, I know of this mayor. I like her. I respect her. I was actually just in Baltimore with her about 10 days ago. I shared a platform with her. I think she's been criticized for her words and for her deeds, and I think that's going to continue. Let me give a sense of perspective about the kinds of things I think she was probably trying to balance We talk easily about balancing the First Amendment rights of good protesters with public safety. There's another balancing act that every executive has to figure out, which is how much response is too much. We actually create a cycle of violence. I think in this case, early on, there was a sense we don't want to provoke more. And I think that a mistake was made. Once you have that level of lawlessness, and it's on television, if you don't respond aggressively, people see it and they go out and copycat. And I think that she was caught a step behind the cycle and never recovered. I think she's going to suffer for that. But I think that the criticism of her words, that she's being accused now of having said, you know, we were making space for the destruction. That's not what she said. She left out a word, perhaps saying, unfortunately, or accidentally, we left space for some of the destruction. She's not someone who's trying to create room for violence. Quite the opposite. But I think she mishandled it by being a step behind. That is the other balancing act we don't talk enough about. Do you, by responding very aggressively, create a cycle you can't control? I think trying to avoid that problem, she created this problem for herself. But this is a mayor that has been respected. She is beloved in that community. She is a child of that community. I'm sure she's heartbroken tonight. I just wanted somebody to give a perspective.
Well, let me just point out what she did say, which received so much criticism. She said, quote, "It's a very delicate balancing act because while we tried to make sure that they were protected from the cars and the other things that were going on, talking about protesters, we also gave those who wished to destroy space to do that as well." Now, they've since walked that back. Her spokesperson said she didn't mean that they meant to give space to destroy people, space to destroy property. But what you're saying is she should have put the word in. Unfortunately, people used that space to destroy property.
Yes, sir, Anthony, one word in a situation like this can make all the difference. You should have said, in trying to protect those good protesters, we accidentally or unfortunately made space for.
But nevertheless, she has also, and you point out, she has come under a lot of criticism just even today. You know, there's not a state of, there's not a curfew that's been put in effect for tonight, though there is this juvenile curfew that's just about to take effect for people over the age of 14 and under the age of 18. And also, as Jeffrey Tubman was very critical of the police response, that there was violence in the streets of Baltimore on Saturday. They just mobilized the Emergency Operations Center, even though the governor's Emergency Operations Center had been mobilized over the weekend. It just seems like they didn't have enough personnel on the streets and weren't sure initially how to respond, even after the violence began.
You know, one of the things that is happening is that law enforcement, as we are now entering some new phase in American history, where because of the videos, because a lot of the pain and frustration, both economically and otherwise in the black community, and frustration with law enforcement is now at a new stage. Law enforcement trying to figure out what's the right combination of tactics. How much force do you show? How much space do you give? You saw that happening in Ferguson. You've seen it happening in other places. I think that this is a police department and a mayor trying to figure out how not to make things worse. And sometimes you can do too much, and sometimes you can do too little. This is a situation in which it was where obviously too little was done.
Van, obviously at some point the violence will be brought to an end. The National Guard is going to be on patrol, but more state police and others are responding as well. More fire units are responding. In terms of, though, what happens in this community, I mean, not only are we seeing the CVS burned down, looted, not only are we seeing the senior center built by a Baptist church burned to the ground, we're also seeing small businesses. You just saw a hair, a weave store, a hair store, a liquor store, a check cashing. These are not national chains that maybe have insurance that can help them rebuild quickly. These are mom and pop operations.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I have a cousin who lives in Baltimore, and he was pointing out, we don't have much as it is, and then to have that taken away. And I cannot tell you the level of heartbreak of somebody who's working communities when you're trying to rebuild back.
Right, take their weave away, take their alcohol away.
It is so
That's all we got.
hard, Anderson.
On national TV, they talk about y'all.
To get banks to invest, to build a center, and to have it standing there, and you can imagine the ribbon cutting, and everybody can have a sense of victory, and have that snatched away in one day, in 1 hour. That's the kind of thing that communities have a hard time bouncing back from. Baltimore was on the comeback. Frankly, this mayor's election was a part of Baltimore's comeback. And I think a lot of people in that town and across the country are heartbroken that this kind of thing can happen. I'll tell you what, if you look at even Katrina, 10 years later, you still have not seen all parts of New Orleans coming back. This is not the kind of way to make justice. There are legitimate grievances against that police department, but this completely overshadows that, and you're going to have now 10 years, 15 years of pain trying to come back from one night of stupidity, and it's wrong.
And let's just hope.
So, as the Jake saying, one night of y'all standing up for y'all nation means 15 years of no economics, no building, no structure, no jobs in y'all community. When all y'all had was weave shops for the black women, which that's making a mockery out of them too now, because what you think the #1 selling thing for black women is. And what else? Alcohol for you Jakes. So as we gonna cut to one more video, which is actually gonna show a Israelite Judite black woman trying to get her son from out there fighting in the street and standing up for his nation. And that's why Micah 7, 9, and 10 is gonna be for her. And oh yeah, she made CNN, by the way, and y'all gonna see this red-headed, gold-tooth mouth black demon bitch on there laughing on how she stopped her son and how she stand up because she taught him better than that. Well, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah finna put a spirit where them kids ain't gonna be accepting that. And I'm finna roll the footage. You black women don't control y'all kids, by the way. He didn't take that mask off, and now he did. So as you can see, that's the black woman trying to intervene and stop her kid. But it's going to come to an end eventually. Flip it up. And these are the type of videos that they actually have coming up. Angry mother. See that? And they keep running that. So, you know, until next time, Israel. Shalom.